Everybody, welcome to Gettin Blitzed.
Gettin Blitzed.
I'm Danny.
I am Ben.
We got C Money, Chad Stewart over here.
I'm Chad.
Wow, that was a really...
Yeah.
You always have
Yeah.
the best first line, then you just let...
What the fuck, man?
You just shoot some
You let
fireball.
us down on that one.
I'm Chad. What was that?
Yeah, exactly. That was shitty. Speaking of shitty and you, I'm gonna call you out right here publicly for the internet to hear.
Mm-hmm.
We had some football scheduled.
Yes.
On Tuesday, where me and the guys play some football, and Chad shows up in his car blasting Taylor Swift. This is not a joke. This is not a joke.
I did not know about this before.
I was saving this. I was gonna post it on Facebook, but I figured I'd do it now. Chad, you better make your case right now.
Well, my music taste is very schizophrenic, if you will. But
Schizophrenic does not
anyways,
include Taylor Swift.
do not deny my future ex-wife. Okay, it will happen. She's gonna take me up to her Nashville
Penthouse?
penthouse.
There you go.
Yes, and sweet things are gonna happen.
So you're playing that through your car speakers for boner purposes only.
Well, no, it's mostly to annoy you.
It was not to annoy me.
You know, when we started this football podcast, I would have bet good money that Taylor Swift never gets mentioned. And what is this, week 11? And there it is. So I'm wrong.
All right, let's get to the news.
The news.
Oh, God. What happened? What happened to my orange horses?
I like that.
What
Orange
happened?
choices.
What happened to my blackbirds?
That's not even on the itinerary, Chad.
My team had a bye week this week, so I don't even have to complain.
That's
Fighting
not-
Tony Romo's
Let's
wrong.
stay on subject here. Stay on subject here. Who wants to go first? I got something to say. It's very short. So Ben.
No, you have to go first. It's your team.
Okay, fine. Brandon McManus is going to cost them a playoff game, probably.
I think that's fair.
Mark my words. Quote me on that. When it's the AFC Championship or even the divisional round, when it's a 48-yarder and it's late in the game and he misses it. I don't even know who the fuck this McManus kid is, but he's going to fuck us in some way or another.
Well, and I think for any fantasy players out there can relate to this is like he's the kicker for one of the best offenses in the NFL, and in fantasy you always want the kicker on one of the best offenses in the NFL. Nobody wants Brandon McManus on their fantasy team because he can't kick long, which means they punt more often than a lot of teams, and he's not that accurate, which means he misses more often than a lot of kickers. So the fact that
you know why?
Last year Matt Prater was the best fantasy kicker that was the guy you wanted because he's on a great offense.
Right.
Even if he's only kicking extra points, he's kicking fucking 8 extra points. That's still pretty decent. Nobody wants Brandon McManus. He's not good enough. He's young. It's fine. We're not trying to crucify Brandon McManus.
I am.
But I agree with your point that I would not be surprised if the Broncos' postseason venture ends up failing because he can't kick a 45-yard field goal in overtime or something along those lines. But I think the real mystery in that game. A lot of people are calling. It's Brady versus Manning, and Manning didn't play as well as Brady. Yeah. We all know that. But what the fuck happened to the Denver defense in this game? I mean, how many points did they give up?
Yeah, I thought they were supposed to be the more physical team, but instead the Patriots were the more physical team.
Exactly.
And the Broncos were the finesse team.
Yeah.
And physical always outdoes.
Yeah.
That I
finesse.
do not have an answer to at all.
It seems like no one's talked about that because it's all Brady versus Manning. But at the end of the day,
it's a mystery because they were playing so well before that.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly. They look like they might be the best defense in the league, and then they go and just do nothing.
Yeah.
I understand the Patriots are a good team. I'm not saying they should have shut them out, but they did nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you could have had no one on the field, and the game would have probably ended the same way.
Negative points in fantasy, by the way.
Yeah, you'll have that.
That aside, which is a mystery to me, that's why I didn't bring that up because I have no idea what the defense.
Yeah.
I don't.
But
have
I think
a guess.
I think it's a question that needs to be asked because again,
definitely,
everybody wants to say, Peyton just crumbled under pressure, and maybe he did. We don't have to talk about
he made
that.
a terrible throw.
But at the end of the day, Peyton Manning isn't the one who gave up all those points.
Right. Second thing I was going to say that I do have an answer to is, I said this earlier, they fucking miss no Sean Moreno more than they would admit, and they will lose. No. Shut up, everybody. They're going to lose a game either because of Brandon McManus or because they cannot play clock ball with whatever running game they have.
That's not true. Ronnie Hillman has played really, really well
I agree.
in
Not
the
as
last
good-
few weeks.
he
Now,
just-
this last game,
No.
they should have had a better game, but that was not Ronnie Hillman's
He
fault.
is not as reliable as
No,
Noshan.
maybe not quite.
That's what
but
that's
an
my point.
I think it's an insignificant difference.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's my point.
I think he's more explosive than Noshan was last
no,
year,
he did,
and I think that
no,
makes up the
obviously.
difference.
No, he's obviously more explosive.
Yeah,
I'm
so I
talking
think
about
that makes up the
No, I'm
difference.
talking about being dependable, and when you have a lead, being able to play clock ball. I don't think Noshan and
What are you talking about?
restructured offensive line.
What are
is
you
gonna have
talking about in reference to this game? You have a lead and you play clock ball. When did they have a lead in this game?
No, I'm not talking about this game. This
Then when was it a problem?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about in the playoffs. This is going to cost
come on,
Denver
Ronnie.
Rivers.
When has Ronnie Hillman not been able to play clock ball?
Yeah.
And if not him, it's someone else.
Now, I'm not
They
talking
have
about
other
just
running
Ronnie
backs.
Hillman. I'm talking about
Anderson, the fullback. or
I'm
whatever.
talking
Yeah.
about Denver Broncos.
No, that's
Not being able to play.
absurd.
Not
I
being- not
totally
being able
agree with
to-
you on the kicker point, the defense
No.
point, but
No, it's not absurd.
That's
How is that?
absurd.
How is that absurd?
they're running the ball very well these
No, they're
last few
not.
weeks. Not
No, they're
last
not.
week,
No, they're
but
not.
the weeks before that.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
What are they averaging yards per carry? What are they
Like
averaging?
4 or something?
What are
They're
they
not-
averaging
they're not.
rushing touchdowns or just touchdowns by a running back per game since Monty Ball went down?
How
Come
much?
on.
Well, you tell me. You tell me.
Don't sell out the running game because
No, I'm selling
your
out the
game
running
didn't
game.
go well.
I'm doing. Mark my words.
Did they lose that game because of Ronnie Hillman?
I'm not talking about this game. This
what are you
is
talking
separate
about?
from the game.
Then take every other game since Ronnie Hillman started, and they've been really good at rushing. Really good.
Where was it? Where was it that game?
It was nowhere.
Exactly.
But do you think that was because of the running game or because of
it was
miraculously New England managed to stop the run?
I think miraculously, whatever team they're playing in the playoffs will probably
No,
do that.
New England's
Yes. Come
defense
on.
was fucking physical against
Yeah.
the receivers. They were just shutting them down. They were
Yeah.
all over them.
And they managed to stop the run at the same time.
San Diego can have a physical defense. Indianapolis can have a
Don't
physical
sell it.
defense in January. That's my point. Let's move on.
But just to put a bow on it, I agree. Noshan Moreno might be better at some things, but don't fucking throw the running backs
Yeah,
under the bus. They did not lose that game for you, and
My
they've been
brain-
great in every
I'm
other
not
game.
doing the run. I'm doing the whole system. The whole system under the bus.
The
That's
receivers
ridiculous.
just did not show up that game. That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah,
And-
the running
and-
game is the least of your worries. Ronnie Hillman
No,
has
it's not.
been a revelation this
We'll
year.
see. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping you can throw this in my face
No,
in January,
hey,
and they're holding the
I
LeBron
have
trophy.
I have an early Christmas gift for you. You're wrong. So
Good.
your hopes
Great.
come true.
I
Yes.
fucking hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Let's all hope I'm wrong.
No, you don't have to. You're already wrong. we
Oh,
don't have
good.
to hope for it.
Well, good. They're going to Super Bowl then. Great. Now let's move on to Cleveland at Cincinnati.
Wait, I thought we were going to talk about games.
No.
See what I did there? Pretty funny.
How
That's
about
good.
Andy Dalton 2.0 for the 2.0 quarterback rating he received?
I love Akbar Gabaja who's on. I probably didn't pronounce that right, but I'm
Baja
drunk.
Bielmila.
And if you pronounce that good sober, then that's still good. I'm wasted.
Baja Bielmila.
yeah, Baja blah blah blah. But anyway,
Akbar and Gabir.
but no,
Baja Bielmila.
I'm giving Akbar credit. He had a great tweet last night where he said Johnny Manziel had more fantasy points last night than Andy Dalton.
All right.
Fair enough.
Johnny Manziel didn't get on the field.
All right. Before we blow smoke up Cleveland's ass, Cincinnati's not good. I think they're a gatekeeper team now.
No.
Yes, they're a gatekeeper team.
I think they're too inconsistent to be a gatekeeper team because a gatekeeper team is a consistent. They like you set the parameters for this. A gatekeeper team beats bad teams and loses to good teams.
Right.
I think that look, if they lost to the Jags last week,
But they didn't.
I think
They
they're
beat the
too.
Jags.
I think they're too inconsistent to even give them.
No.
A gatekeeper team to me is consistent.
No, it's consistent in wins and losses, but they'll
Yes.
beat the good teams.
I think
They are
Bengals
consistent.
will drop to a team we think is shitty this year. I think they might even beat a team that's good. They're so fucking fluky. And it's
Yeah.
because Andy Dalton is so fucking fluky.
But
You
gatekeeper
cannot.
team can
Sometimes
be
he throws
fluky.
4 touchdowns and sometimes he throws 4 interceptions.
No, a gatekeeper
They look
team
like
can
they
be
could go
fluky.
8-8, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a gatekeeper team.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but
No.
They're a gatekeeper.
Not-
You're saying they're
no.
lower than a gatekeeper team?
I'm saying they're in a different category altogether because a gatekeeper team
Oh.
is consistently what they
Whatever.
are.
And won't finish 500.
Well, they might, but the point is the gatekeeper teams beat bad teams and lose to good teams. And I think the Bengals are not consistent enough where they will drop. They'll lose to someone like the Raiders. I don't know. They're playing the Raiders. How to look at their schedule. They will lose to a bad team.
All right, that's on record.
And they might also beat a good team.
That's
Yeah,
on.
yes.
That's on
Because
record. Here we go.
Who knows what the fucking Bengals are?
All right. Well, let's throw this all together. We can blow smoke up the Browns.
They play well.
Talk about the North. Every team in the North is above 500. What's going on in the North, Chet? You are Ravens fan, AFC North expert. Why don't you give us a rundown there? What's going on in that division?
I don't know. It's fucking crazy as shit. The fucking Steelers are just catching on fire right now. The Ravens are just being, I don't know. Their secondary is decimated.
Yeah, now Jimmy Smith out for the season. That's
out
huge.
for the season, yes.
That's massive.
Cleveland, their offense is catching on fire as well and being consistent.
Yeah. It's a weird division. It's a very good division, but it's also a very fluky division. Yeah. Who do you think wins that division?
It's looking like it's gonna be the Steelers.
I agree.
Just the fucking God. I wanted to go play defense for the Ravens the other night. I probably had a better chance playing defense than some of the secondary. As a matter of fact, the Ravens cut 2 of their starting cornerbacks this past week after the Steelers game.
Oh, wow.
And they picked up 2 dudes off the street.
Wow, that says a lot.
Yeah, so
well, let's talk about for a second. Let's talk about Roethlisberger, who's had 2 of the greatest games the quarterbacks ever had back to back. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, I think we all knew he had it in him. I mean, we've seen him make plays like that before. I mean, have seasons like that before. That's what I meant to say.
Martavis Bryant's been a big part of it. He's playing really good as a rookie. I don't know if he can keep it up, but I don't think he has. Roethlisberger doesn't need to throw 6 touchdowns every game.
I'm not trying to knock on you, Ben, but I don't think there's much to say there. I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah, he has had the potential to do this his whole career.
Yeah, but why has he done it back-to-back games? And that's the question. Antonio Brown might be the best receiver in the NFL right now.
Yes.
He's
leading in yards.
Yes.
Even aside from that, I think
that dude's fucking
when
awesome.
Everyone says who's the best receiver in the NFL, everyone says, "Oh, Megatron." I think we're at a point where maybe I'm not hating on Megatron. Maybe there's a discussion to have there, rather than just saying, "Oh, Megatron, who's number 2?"
Short one, but
not yet. But I think we're moving in that direction where maybe Megatron isn't the king.
It's short either way. You talk about numbers, it's short. It's Antonio Brown. You talk about just philosophical, then it's short because it's going to be Megatron, obviously.
I just think
you
look at what Antonio Brown's done this year. I don't think he's had a single game under 84 yards.
Right.
He's got all these touchdowns. He's thrown touchdowns. I mean, he's in the race for the best receiver in the NFL.
That's true. We're going to talk about some disappointing players this season. I'm going to start off here. Monte Ball. I know he's injured right now, but even before that, no signs of being what he was supposed to be. Period. That's all I got to say.
Well, but that's
what do you mean?
That's kind of like what you were talking about earlier. Is that as soon as he went down, suddenly that running game got good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the numbers went way up as far as yards per carry, yards per game.
Yeah, before he went down, though, but was he doing what we thought he was supposed to do?
That's what I'm saying. As soon as he went down, the rushing game got way better. So you lose your starting running back and your rushing game gets better. That says a lot about your number 1 running back.
Right.
And he even said, he came out yesterday and said he doesn't think he deserves a starting job. He said Ronnie Hillman's earned it. He said, I'm going to try to fight and get it back, but Ronnie Hillman's been better than I was. So credit to him.
Honest.
I like that. And he's still saying I'm going to fight for it, but there's no question. I don't think there's an NFL coach in the league that would say Monty Ball should be starting over Ronnie Hillman right now.
Chad, you got one?
I guess off the top of my head, Patrick Peterson from the Cardinals. I mean, he's just been nowhere. He's just been
he was so until last week.
Yeah.
He did shut down Des Bryant pretty well, but who was throwing to him? Brandon Whedon. So how much of that was him?
Yeah.
But I think they are on the up. I think that secondary is getting better. But I agree. That should have been especially with adding Cromartie, that should have been a really good secondary.
Yes.
And they've been fine, but they haven't been very good.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Right,
go ahead.
Most disappointing. Remember, that was the setup. Most disappointing player in the NFL. Tony Romo.
What?
Because the NFL for years has been built on Tony Romo throwing fourth quarter interceptions and losing the game, and then everyone can get on Facebook and Twitter and complain about it and hate on it. And that hasn't happened. Since week 1, he has only helped his team and never hurt it. So I feel sorry for all these people out there that are just biting at the chomp. waiting for that moment when he throws the interception with 1 minute on the clock and they lose the game and they can go up.
Hey, he did fuck up his back.
That's another thing. dude broke bones. It has multiple fractures in his back and got back on the field and almost won that game.
Yeah, his spine. Yeah,
So most disappointing player of the season, Tony Romo, because all the haters have nothing to say.
Little 180 there on the disappointment.
They call me 180.
Good job there, Ben. All right, here we have our resident San Diego Chargers fan here on Gettin Blitzed, who I guess technically is my sworn enemy.
It's true.
For the moment. Chris Brissey here. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well.
Are you nice and drunk?
Yeah.
But are you blitzed?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
You're about to be getting blitzed.
Let me just talk about the elephant in the room here.
All right.
What happened in Miami? What happened in Miami, brother?
I knew that was going to be the topic of conversation.
I can't not talk about it.
But my go-to is, hey, we're playing on the fucking East Coast, and there's a 3-hour time difference. It's noon. It's 9 a.m. where we play. Those are my excuses. That's what it is.
Ben is saying cop out to you, Chris Brissey. You're supposed to be a good team. You're leading the AFC in for a while.
For like a day.
I mean, that's all you got? Just the time difference? You're supposed to beat the Dolphins, man.
I know, man. We've lost the Dolphins the last 7 times we played them.
Right.
I mean,
so just a matchup problem, I guess.
Yeah, and also just a fluke.
Well, it's not just matchup. It's playing on the East Coast. Like every time we fucking play on the East Coast, loss.
Yeah, that's fair. And also the Dolphins have a good defense. A very under-the-radar defense that's been playing very, very well.
Our offensive line could not handle anything all night.
Wasn't there some NFL media person that said weeks ago that was going to be a problem, that the center's getting hurt and all that shit? His name was like Ben Reichman? Ben Richmond? Oh, is that it?
Ben
Who
Richmond,
called this
yes.
5 weeks ago and everybody said, no, Chargers are the best team in the league. No, I nailed it.
And then plus, Philbin's dad passed away, and I guess the Dolphins rallied.
We have seen that before.
Little moral.
Fuck Philbin's dad.
Oh no.
I said it.
I mean, I think it holds a little bit more weight excuse than the time difference, I guess.
Yeah, which is a factor, but that's not a factor of getting shut out.
I'm sticking with the time difference.
No, the real question is, do you love Phillip Rivers as much as Danny loves Peyton Manning?
That is a good question.
Danny, describe your love of Peyton Manning.
My love of Peyton Manning is like the feeling you get seeing something so beautiful it would kill you if you ever experienced it.
That made so little sense, and I loved it.
I'm gonna go with it though. Yeah, I love Phillip Rivers. He's pretty much my favorite quarterback. It's not the stats. It's not the yards. It's not the Super Bowl wins because there's 0. It's the fucking competitiveness. Like I don't know. I can't help it.
He does. Phillip Rivers has a fire behind him that few quarterbacks have.
Yes,
right.
He's feisty, and some people hate on him for that. I love it.
He is tough. He's like Jim Kelly, Buffalo Bills.
I will give it to
yes.
I will give it to old Phil. He's got Peyton's number. Maybe not.
He has in the past.
Well, I'm saying maybe not so much.
Denver, we had no.
Hey, he beat him last year. He might beat him again later on this year.
Yeah,
it's possible. It is possible.
I hope we get a better chance at home than
Well, and you guys also get you probably have Ryan Matthews next week coming off the bye. That definitely helps. Brandon Oliver's been good, but having Ryan Matthews back will definitely help you.
I hope so. A 1-2 punch with Matthews and Oliver would be nice because Donald Brown hasn't been anything.
No, he's been as someone that had him on several fantasy teams. He's the scum of the earth.
All right, Chris. Give me your breakdown. What do you guys need to do to make a deep playoff run / Super Bowl run? What do you guys need to do?
Well, we're gonna start with making the playoffs.
Okay, let me specifically.
That's the strategy.
Yeah, right there.
Number 1, make the playoffs. Number 2, win the Super Bowl.
That's what happens when you get your guests drunk. What are some of the here's a better way to phrase the question. What are some flaws you guys need to fix?
Okay. Let's start at center. We lost our Pro Bowl center that's been with Rivers. Yeah, been with Rivers since the beginning.
Again, I said this 5 weeks ago.
Also, I mean, offensive line is where I really start with the problems.
You're a true football nerd then.
Well, and yeah, I think you're dead on because Rivers has always been a guy that he's a pocket passer. You don't want him scrambling. It's not what he does. It's not a skill set.
And it was not more apparent than at Miami. Like,
to be fair,
I know they have a great defense. They're going to get some sacks, but our offensive line, he was always he looked like Ben Roethlisberger,
right?
You know, in 2008.
And that's not what he does.
Yeah.
That's not who he is.
It's not what he does well. He needs to stand.
Mm-hmm.
What about on the other side of the ball? You need what's the most pressing issue there?
Oh, fuck. I think our biggest strength right now is the defensive coordinator.
Pagano?
If you don't know, we have like 10 guys on our team tied for the lead in sacks because he rotates so much.
Yeah,
we don't have a standout player.
Stat.
We don't have a badass.
Well,
we don't have a
What?
Pierre Paul from the Giants in 09. We don't have that. We don't have anyone on defense to step up.
Kind of like a no-name defense. But, I mean, you got Eric Weddle. I mean, he's not like racking up sacks or anything, but, I mean, he's playing really solid this year.
And a very underrated defensive player.
That's true. And I think getting our cornerbacks will help. We were out Brandon Flowers. We were out Barrett against Miami. Barrett has been standout defensive player.
Barrett's the rookie this year, right?
Yeah, he's a rookie.
He's been playing great. I mean, that might have made a big difference in that game. I think he's been very impressive.
I agree. Brandon Flowers was out too. He's been pickup of the year, like in my mind. But he was out that one game, and our secondary was back to the way it was in the playoffs last year.
I think that's exactly right. Yeah, the secondary is a good secondary when everyone's healthy. It's surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, have Mr. Pagano there shore up things on that side and get your offensive line fixed. And good luck to you in the West there, brother.
Don't give me that shit. Next time the Chargers play the Broncos, I don't know the date. It's gonna be at home. You better bring me on the fucking show.
Yeah, no, we need to bring you back for that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. Later, guys.
I thought he was excellent. That was a good segment. We need to replace Danny with Chris Brissey.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to Gettin Blitzed.
Is that all we have for today?
That's all. As we went long.
So it's a week.
Yeah. For me, Chad, Ben, and Chris Brissey. See you later.
That was pretty good. Yeah, Chris Brissey is good.
Gettin Blitzed.